Alright, we've got a Ford Flex 2009, the dual fan. They like to die on you, and one of them just goes full bore then when the other one fails. This is a Hayden. I went with the 14-inch based on my measurements, and a couple of comments online said the 14-inch fit pretty well, so we'll find out. Looks like these were 10mm on the old fan. So we'll just pull those out. Here we are side by side. This is the old one. Looks like we got to do just a simple wiring here, cut here and here, and then put that connector here. Otherwise, we've got the same 3 bolts here, so I think this should just drop out of this cage and then be pretty much a direct replacement for the 2. Looks a little bigger based on the angle, but honestly, side by side they look pretty good, and if it's a tiny bit smaller, it shouldn't be a problem. Here we've had to flip the fan over. There's one nut kind of holding on the fan blades here, so I got to hold the fan blade and then just torque it fairly gently, and it came loose pretty easy. So now I'm just going to remove this nut here. This was an 8mm, and we should be able to take the thing out of its housing. Alright, so that worked really easy. Here we have the motor, and here's the fan blade, came out of the housing easy. And then washer and nut. Right, so there's a little hole pre-cut. We just snaked that through, and then we're going to align this over the other one and then see if we might have to come up with some bolts and nuts that I wasn't prepared for, but we had the bolts on the one with the built-in nuts and the other one with screws, so might have to figure out some way to sort of fix that, but otherwise it's coming together. Alright, first major hiccup. The bolt pattern doesn't line up when you use the existing hole, and this raised thing seems to push it out a little bit, so it's going to be a little bit of a stretch there. So I figure we'd just cut the back out of the plastic housing here. So I just drilled a few holes, and then we'll just cut between those, and that'll be ugly, but as long as the bolt pattern lines up, the reinforcement is really here, so this shouldn't matter structurally at all. We should still get good balance out of it. Alright, thanks to the work of my trusty jigsaw here, we were able to cut that out fairly well. We'll see how it fits now. Alright, hang up number 2. Of course, the bolt pattern down here doesn't quite align with the bolt pattern on the Flex, as you might have expected, and as I kind of suspected when we started fitting this thing together. So anyway, the bolt heads on the old one, you know, are attached to the motor. So we had to go get some bolts out of the bolt bag. So these fit, so we'll see about drilling it out. I've already got one new one here. We'll see how this lines up. It's a little bit smaller, so wish me luck. Alright, this turned into much more of a fight than I'd hoped, but we finally got her done. You can kind of see I ended up going with a slightly smaller bolt than I would have liked, but that's what I had, and it should hold with 3 points of contact into that plastic. Alright, here we are. We've got a lot of excess here, so we'll zip tie that down, but that's the last connection there, and once that's all hooked up, put it back in the car. So I think we're set. And here we go, reinstalled. See if we can get right over top of everything here. And it was the driver's side, so there's the passenger side going just as we would expect. And down and over here, down there. That shadow flickering by, that's the new fan going just fine. Hope this was helpful to you.